Yeas are 314. The nays are 117. The bill is passed.
And there you have it. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. The debt ceiling bill has passed in the House of Representatives by a vote of 314 to 117, lifting the debt ceiling until 2025. The bill now goes to the Senate, where it is expected to be passed expeditiously, and then on to President Joe Biden's desk, where he will sign it into law, averting a major economic catastrophe manufactured by MAGA Republicans who tried to take our economy hostage, but failed in that effort. President Biden just released a statement on the House passage of this bipartisan budget agreement. Let me read it for you right now. President Biden states, "Tonight, the House took a critical step forward to prevent a first-ever default and protect our country's hard-earned and historic economic recovery. This budget agreement is a bipartisan compromise. Neither side got everything it wanted. That's the responsibility of governing. I want to thank Speaker McCarthy and his team for negotiating in good faith, as well as Leader Hakeem Jeffries for his leadership. This agreement is good news for the American people and the American economy. It protects key priorities and accomplishments from the past 2 years, including historic investments that are creating good jobs across the country. And it honors my commitment to safeguard Americans' health care and protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. It protects critical programs that millions of hardworking families, students, and veterans count on. I have been clear that the only path forward is a bipartisan compromise that can earn the support of both parties. This agreement meets that test. I urge the Senate to pass it as quickly as possible so that I can sign it into law and our country can continue building the strongest economy in the world." It should be noted, as referenced in that statement by President Joe Biden, that Kevin McCarthy and the MAGA Republicans were asking for a 22% reduction in non-defense discretionary spending. That would have been a significant cut of government programs. Kevin McCarthy got no reduction at all. Instead, spending will remain at current levels. Also, this deal is for 2 years, meaning we won't have to revisit this as we head into the 2024 elections, including the presidential elections. When we look at the passage of the bill, we will see that more Democrats voted for this bill than Republicans. 165 Democrats voted for it. Only 149 Republicans voted for it. In fact, MAGA Republicans are calling for a motion to vacate to remove Kevin McCarthy. A motion to vacate has not been officially introduced, but many of the MAGA Republicans gave press conferences and made other statements before the vote, which just concluded, stating that they wanted to remove Kevin McCarthy. Now, what is Kevin McCarthy's response? Kevin McCarthy seems to be a little bit insecure. This is the press conference that Kevin McCarthy just held after the passage of the bill. What he wants you to know is that it's a really, really good bill. This is the best day Kevin McCarthy has had. Play this clip.
Sometimes they hired none. I'm bringing back the next $60 billion to them. So this is great. I think it's wonderful that they voted for it, because they are now on record. So they can't sit there and yell, this isn't good. So I'll bring something back tomorrow. Let's get the rest of the IRS agent. Let's get the rest of the work requirements. Let's cut more because we are in a big debt. This is fabulous. This is one of the best nights I've ever been here. I thought it would be hard. I thought it'd be almost impossible just to get to 218. Now I found there's a whole new day here. We've woken them up.
One of the things I also want to mention, one of the areas that many are very critical of this bill, is that it adds work requirements to important programs like SNAP. which is very critical to some of the most vulnerable individuals in the United States of America. But actually, the CBO report states that approximately 78,000 more people will now be gaining SNAP benefits as a result of this. So let me just pull up the CBO report. This is from the CBO report. CBO estimates that all of the changes to SNAP work requirements would increase direct spending by $2.1 billion over 2023 to 2033 period. During the 2025 to 2030 period, when the group of people up to the age of 54 would be subject to the work requirement and the new exclusions were in effect, approximately 78,000 people would gain benefits in an average month on net, an increase of about 0.2% in the total number of people receiving SNAP benefits. So actually a significant increase, 78,000 per month as a result of this. I want to share with you some of the statements that were being made on the House floor today. Let's go to Hakeem Jeffries. This is what Hakeem Jeffries had to say about the bill. Play this clip.
The question that remains right now is, what will the House Republican majority do? It appears that you may have lost control of the floor of the House of Representatives. Earlier today, 29 House Republicans voted to default on our nation's debt and against an agreement that you negotiated. It's an extraordinary act that indicates just the nature of the extremism that is out of control on the other side of the aisle. Extreme MAGA Republicans attempted to take control of the House floor. Democrats took it back for the American people. And we will continue to do what is necessary under the leadership of President Joe Biden to build an economy that works for everyday Americans and push back against the extremism on the other side of the aisle. Under the Trump administration, Democrats helped the former president avoid a default, raise the debt ceiling 3 times without gamesmanship, partisanship, or brinksmanship, because Democrats put people over politics.
Here was Kevin McCarthy on the House floor giving a very, very creepy speech. Play this clip.
This is Haley. Haley was born at 9:58 a.m. on April 11th of this year. She weighed 6 pounds and 7 ounces. Her blue eyes, she got that from her dad. That button nose, she got that from her mom. And the $95,000 bill, she got that from Washington.
This is Democratic Congress member John Larson, who said that President Biden is to be commended for being the adult in the room. Play this clip.
President Biden is to be commended for being the adult in the room and providing the leadership to prevent a catastrophic default that hurts the U.S. standing in the global economy and Americans here at home. That does not excuse the behavior of the Republican majority in the House, who seek to normalize hostage-taking in an effort to hurt programs that serve our people the most. Thank you, President Biden, for protecting Social Security, Medicare, and veterans benefits. The trust the American people place in you has been validated again.
Democratic Congress member Gwen Moore. Play this clip.
Republicans claim that they just had to threaten the economic well-being of every American man, woman, and child because of the $31 trillion debt was too high. Well, hypocrisy thou hast to name, GOP, because what they insisted on, their red line, was not financial at all. It was to double down on the so-called work requirements. Thank God the White House negotiations push back on the worst of these changes in TANF that would have saved $6 million over 10 years. No, speaker after speaker has insisted on denying food to poor, old women who are primarily black and brown. It seems like the pound of flesh that you get is more delicious than having savings. But just wait. Before the ink is dry on this bill, you will be pushing for $3.5 trillion in business tax cuts. Watch my word. You heard it here first. I yield back.
And as mentioned, this bill now goes to the Senate. And earlier in the day, MAGA Republican Senator Mike Lee had this to say about the debt ceiling bill and basically criticized Kevin McCarthy. Play this clip.
Check of sorts for the government to spend to borrow more money without accountability. This deal begs the question, with Republicans like these, who needs Democrats? We deserve better. We deserve a deal that genuinely reflects the urgency of our economic challenges and delivers meaningful results. To grant such a colossal debt ceiling increase while settling for a mere $12 billion in immediate savings is also an act of fiscal irresponsibility and betrayal of the trust placed in us by those who elected us.
And folks, even though the debt ceiling bill passed, we must remain very vigilant to what these MAGA Republicans want to do next. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who made that deal with Kevin McCarthy so she could preside frequently as Speaker of the House and get all of those committee assignments. She's on the Homeland Security Committee and the House Oversight Committee. Because all of the MAGA Republicans have turned against Marjorie Taylor Greene for supporting this debt ceiling bill, she's now saying, here's what we've got to do next. Here's a post that she just made. She goes, once we pass the debt ceiling bill, these are just a few of the things House Republicans will be able to do in the appropriations to take down the deep state. Punish Dr. Fauci, Peter Strzok, James Comey, and John Brennan by defunding their retirements, terminate all government-funded COVID vaccine programs, disband the 87,000 IRS Army, take down Biden's domestic terror units in the FBI, DOJ, and Homeland Security that target conservatives. No, they're not conservatives. They are terrorists. That's why they are being investigated. Punish everyone mentioned in the Durham report for pushing the Trump-Russia hoax. It's just a clown. Cut funding for all Green New Deal projects, defund sanctuary cities, cancel funding for the FBI's new headquarters in Virginia, defund ATF programs that violate the Second Amendment, hold FISA courts accountable for spying on over 278,000 people. Despite that this is all conspiracy theory nonsense and also like very, very fascistic, ridiculous things, just think about this. Like, there's nowhere mentioned what they're going to do and deliver for the American people. Everything is, let's punish people without juries. Let's attack this individual. Let's take away benefits. Let's go after people. No, how about we try to make people's lives better? How about government works for the people and actually delivers things? Like, how about we focus on healthcare, and how about we focus on education and lowering prescription drug prices and making healthcare accessible and affordable and making sure a woman can control her own body and supporting equality? How about we protect our veterans? How about we support our troops? How about we focus on making our economy work versus punish Dr. Fauci? Are you absolutely kidding me? Oh, by the way, because Kevin McCarthy's now trying not to get fired as the Speaker of the House, this is the type of stuff that he was saying on the House floor, that he wants to defund the CDC. Play this clip.
And Mr. Speaker, just listen to some of the programs we're slashing. $400 million from the CDC's Global Health Fund. Don't get worried, because that's not going to help you. That's your hard-working taxpayer money being spent to countries like China. I guess that's to help China be able to buy our bonds, and we'll pay for their health care. I'd rather focus on America.
Folks, there you have it. Is this bill perfect? No. Were there compromises made that I don't agree with? Yes. But government needs to function. And I am certainly glad on this historic evening, as we are recording this live just after the vote was taken, where the debt ceiling, the debt limit and federal spending bill was approved. I'm just grateful that we have an adult in the White House who takes his job seriously and focuses on the American people, a president for all Americans. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch as well. And wherever you get audio podcasts, make sure you subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. Have a great day.
Love this video? Then you'll love the MeidasTouch podcast. Listen as my brothers and I break down the latest news and chat with top political leaders on the fastest growing pro-democracy podcast in the world. New episodes drop every Tuesday and Friday. Add the MeidasTouch podcast right now wherever you listen to your podcasts.